Okay, it's time for some honesty. And I'm gonna try and just keep this as one shot as possible. Try not to do any cuts. If you've never seen me before, my name is Jer. I am a full-time content creator. I do YouTube videos, I do TikTok, other socials, Twitch, and I have been doing it full time since about maybe a year and a half into the pandemic lockdown. I went back to work and I realized that content creation was something that I was gravitating more towards. It was something I was enjoying more. And it was something that I just, in general, was liking the flexibility of. And so I quit my full time job and started doing content creation full time. And, over the last like maybe year and a half, maybe year and a half. I've been feeling really just crappy and down, and I feel like I'm giving a lot of energy, and I feel like I'm doing the most when I'm doing my content, especially when I'm live streaming. And then I go back and I watch my videos and try to pull content, and my energy is so low, and I can tell that something is wrong, and I've been feeling like crap for so many months now, and I just have not processed this pain. I took a break at the beginning of January to try and just relax and allow myself to figure things out, and I did not let myself do that, and my cat just passed, and I've had nothing but time to sit around and just think. And so I'm finally sitting in my thoughts and really getting into what the heck is going on up here, that things have been so disconnected, and I think it's time to finally just be open and upfront and honest, for at least for myself, and for anyone that sees this that may have noticed things, or knows that things have been going on but haven't really heard what's going on. Maybe this will help add some context. I don't know how long this will be, so if you stick through, I appreciate it. You're a trooper. Yeah, so I guess I had these friends that I was really close with when I started streaming, that I knew in real life, that we were really close with each other. We were talking all the time, giving feedback to each other on stream things, on life things, what have you. And that friendship dissolved after about a year or so, for the reasons that they were. That was something that really devastated me, losing that friendship, because throughout my whole life I've always had issues with friends and not really feeling like I belonged anywhere, feeling like something was always wrong, like I was never making a true actual connection with people, that something was wrong with me, etc. And so this just really solidified a lot of pain that I had been feeling. And in this moment during pandemic lockdown, where a lot of people showed their true colors, that they weren't actual friends, they were just acquaintances, losing a friendship that I thought was genuine really hurt me a lot. And I didn't know what to do with that, and I started to sort of spiral, that if I couldn't trust in real life friends, who could I trust in the creator space if I can't even trust people that I know? So I started to try to break out of that and make other friends online and in my spaces that I was in, especially on Twitch, because there's a huge gay community on there, There's a lot of gay creators who do what I do it full-time, do it part-time, do it as a hobby, whatever. And I really tried to embrace them and be close with them, open up about things, about the struggles I was experiencing, about the community I was building, about the community they were building, the struggles they were having, celebrating highs and lows. And there were a lot of people that I got close to, that I really enjoyed. I would spend time in their spaces, they would spend time in mine. We would hype each other up and do that thing that happens in content creation, where you grow with someone else, or they help you grow to where they're at. And I am such a professional person that I will not call someone out if I'm slighted. I'll just sort of move on. I might make a passive aggressive tweet, or like a post somewhere about a frustration, but I won't go into anything more than that. And I'll sort of just keep to myself, and I'll bury it, and I'll move on, because I look at this as a job. I look at this as a career that I'm focused on right now, that it's not just some silly little thing I do on the internet. I work really hard to maintain a persona and entertaining aura when I'm doing my content. And I tried really hard to be vulnerable, to open up to these people. And I had a couple people that fell off because of differences of opinion. And that is something that I still am not going to apologize about. I will not apologize for firmly saying this is a boundary and I don't like this. And if you don't like it, then we are not meant to be friends. And I had one person that took that and told his entire community, we're not supporting Jer anymore. Don't ever go over there anymore. XYZ. And that hurt my analytics quite a bit. And that got in my head. That upset me. That really troubled my spirit, and it made me more on guard. It made me more upset about interpersonal relationships that I was having and not knowing what to do with these sort of interpersonal parasocial things that were happening on the internet. And I had a pretty big group of people that I was still talking with, other queer content creators. And TwitchCon came around, I think it was 2023. And there was this huge group of people that I was very close with. And I know that they were planning on coming to California, where I'm at. TwitchCon was being held in Vegas, but they were going to California to do like an LA tour, because a lot of gay streamers, believe it or not, are in LA. And so I was like, well, you're pretty close. I would love to visit some of y'all. I can't go to the con because Vegas is not really a place I can go to. My lungs are not capable of handling that much smoke inhalation. So if you want to come to LA, I would love to see you. And I knew that a lot of them had gotten pretty close to my area. And one night I was on one of the apps, one of the hookup apps, and I see this headless torso that had messaged me, hitting me up. And they said, hey, do you want to mess around? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, sure. And I sent some pictures, and this was on an app where typically faces are not involved. So I sent my face, and I immediately got blocked. That happens. It's whatever. It happens literally all the time. So the next day, I'm scrolling on TikTok, and I noticed that one of the gay streamers that I was friends with on TikTok, it no longer said friends on the scroll. You know how, like, if you're friends with people on TikTok, it'll show you a message. If you're just on the FYP, it'll say your friend. So I clicked it, and it showed that they were not following me anymore. And I thought that was weird. And then I went over to see like if I had done something wrong. So I went to their Twitter to see if they had tweeted anything. They unfollowed me on there too. So then I went to Twitch, and they had also unfollowed me there. And I realized, scrolling through their Twitter, that they were in my area. Literally in my area that night. And so I started to put two and two together, that this person on this hookup app and this Twitch streamer were one and the same. And after that weekend, I don't know if anything happened. I can only just like put pieces together and assume. After that weekend, 5 of these gay streamers that I was really close with, who were hanging out with this streamer, no longer talked to me anymore. They didn't unfollow me on anything, but they just stopped talking to me completely cut me off. And I would go into their spaces, and they would just like be very whatever towards me. They would not come into my stream at all. So I started to like get in my head again, and I'm like, did this person say some story and then convince them all to not talk to me anymore? What even happened? Because the parts are too convenient, and no communication ever again from like 5 of these people that I was very close with, that I would chat with quite often. One that we would literally video call each other and talk. And I was like, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what happened, but this sucks and this feels bad. And, I've worked in entertainment for many years. I worked at the Walt Disney Company in entertainment, the most petty of all forms of work that exists in the world. People will cut you off because they think you took a role that they deserved. And I was used to this type of behavior, but I guess I just didn't think that it was going to happen again in an online space because whatever reason, I don't know why I didn't think it was going to happen. I guess I thought things were so low stakes, you know? Like, it's not like we're at risk of stealing somebody's opportunity to stream. You make your own schedule, whatever. So that really messed me up. That got in my head a lot. And I distrusted people. And I started to see my numbers and analytics decline as all of these people who no longer stepped in my spaces took their audiences with them. Because if you are very regular in someone's community and you are hyping someone up, your community will be hyped about them too. They're sort of following your lead. If you stop supporting someone entirely, your community will as well. That's just the way that Twitch works. Because it's sort of like monkey see, monkey do. They're going to follow your example. So suddenly all of these communities that were supporting me went by. And I started to sort of flounder and scramble and try and figure things out. I changed a lot of things about my schedule to try and make new friendships and new relationships. And I noticed a lot of analytic changes from that. And I noticed a lot of these people that used to come from these other communities just didn't support me anymore. They didn't engage with me anymore. I noticed my engagement across pretty much every social media went down because a lot of these people that I was engaging with were from other communities. Our circles were overlapping. And that got in my head so badly. All this is going somewhere, I promise. I get to TwitchCon 2024, which I was so excited about. It was in California again. My community raised the money for me. And all of this time, this last year plus, that I've been sitting on all this information from TwitchCon 2023, sitting on all of this and being in my head and not being able to focus on anything except I cannot trust anyone. That's all that kept going through my head. I cannot trust anybody. No one is on my side. No one is on my team. Everyone is out for me is what was going on in my head. I get to TwitchCon in 2024 and I got to the con. And I'm walking around and I'm seeing all these people that are happy and meeting their communities. And I'm hearing people say oh my God, I'm so-and-so. I've been watching you for years. I'm so glad to meet you. Hugs and excitement. I'm hearing people say, oh my God, you're my mod. Hugging and all of that. And as I'm walking around, I met two very, very lovely people. I'm not discrediting this at all. But I think I thought in my head, I would have more opportunities to see people that made such a big impact in my personal life. And I have a pretty large community. And I did not have that experience. I did not meet my mods. I did not meet Twitch friends. I didn't meet long-standing VIPs or long-standing chatters. And I happened to see one of these people who snubbed me last year and never talked to me again. I saw him walking around the con and I freaked out. I literally, my whole body locked up and I ran out of the con. I saw him and I ran. And I'm someone who's okay with confrontation for the most part. And I could not be there anymore. And I left and I went back to my hotel and I freaked out for a while. I went and I got some air at Balboa Park in San Diego. And I just made the decision that I needed to go. Things progressively got worse. I went to a meetup that night to try and meet a couple more people and hoping that they were going to be there. But things just got worse and worse and worse. And I had to go. I couldn't be there anymore. I had to leave. And I called up Jake and we were talking and I'm crying, sobbing about how I felt stupid and how I felt used and dumb. And all of these emotions started spilling out from the last almost year and a half at that point, almost 2 years at that point. From the time that my in real life friendships dissolved to all of these feelings of no one is on my team and I don't have any friends anywhere. I have no support network. All of these feelings just started bubbling up and exploding and and it just erupted in this hurl of words. And there are definitely people that I've been close with, that I have some strong online relationships with, that I feel close to. Not discrediting those at all. But when you've got one or two in comparison to like 24 people that have snubbed you and made you feel like garbage and have really gotten in your head, it's hard to get out of that swirly space. And I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I've had mods full out betray me and my trust, tell me that they were no longer interested in my content, that they were having more fun spending time in other people's spaces and they didn't want to be in mine anymore. But that was only after I messaged them and asked, hey, why haven't I seen you in like months? Is everything okay? Are you all right? Did I do something? And I've had people that have tried to dox me. I've had people that have tried to do XYZ to me. And this is just my online space where I'm feeling like I can't trust anyone. So I'm in my head all the time. I'm getting into streams. I'm getting into lives. I'm doing YouTube videos. And in the back of my head, the whole time I'm filming and recording, I'm thinking, no one cares. No one cares. The people that I thought I was closest with don't care. So why would anyone else care? And I can't get that out of my head. I have not been able to get that little bug out of my brain that no one cares. And, I'm decided a year ago that I was going to start digging into a lot of my childhood trauma and unpacking that. And that happened kind of parallelly to a lot of this friendship stuff. So unpacking this Pandora's box of trauma mixed with all these friendships dissolving just led to this chemical explosion of feeling like the world was out to get me, basically. That nothing was ever going to go right, ever. And so I've been so in my head about all this stuff because of a few rotten apples that I allowed myself to be surrounded by. And I think now that I've had time to process and now that I've had time to reflect, I don't think there's anything I could have done. I think maybe being too trusting and too naive was obviously a problem. But I think the reality is that it speaks more about who these people are, that they treated me like garbage out of nowhere for no reason when I did nothing to do anything to them. It speaks more about who they are than anything about me, is what I've come to realize, is that I didn't do anything wrong. If these people have any negative feelings towards me and they just developed them apropos of nothing, that's on them. And I need to get out of my head and I need to figure out how to get back into this mode where I can work again and I can do my job, because I want to do my job. I want to keep working. I want to keep doing this thing of content creating. I want to keep making videos. I want to keep streaming. I want to do all of these things and I want to do them well. And I don't want to walk away from a stream or a video and think, my energy was really bad there. I can see that I'm thinking, but why can I not get this out of me? And I really just needed to talk about all of this and get it out of me and into the universe, because I know other people have felt this way. I know that other people have felt the pressure of these parasocial relationships withering away, falling apart, crumbling, whatever, and then they don't know what to do with that, and so they just leave entirely. Most streamers don't even make it past a year, and I'm going on 4 this year, right? I think I just hit 4 years of streaming on Twitch. That is a very, 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 very long time for streaming. And half of my time streaming, I've been up here thinking nobody gives a crap because I cannot form an actual friendship. And that's a terrible place to be at mentally, to feel like you don't matter. And, I get a lot of really nice comments. I get a lot of great engagement across my different platforms here and there. And that matters, and that is important. But the friendships that I formed along the way, if that base is not solid, if your friendship base is not solid, then everything else just feels superficial, because I'm comparing all of these to what is real. A friendship where we're honest with each other, where we gas each other up when we need to be, and help each other become better. If that relationship, which is supposed to be honest and authentic, is not real, then are these relationships where someone loves what I do but don't know me at all? If they say I love you, does that mean anything? Because we don't know each other that way. And you might love what I do, and you might love what I make, and I might really appreciate your conversation, but at the end of the day, we don't know each other. If I'm on a video call with someone and we are chatting about real life things that are going on, we know each other. And if that relationship is fake, how am I supposed to believe that any of these other comments are real, are genuine, are kind, are impactful to me? How do I absorb that information? So I don't really know what I'm supposed to do going forward about forging honest, genuine, real relationships in my personal life that don't involve Twitch or streaming or content, because at the end of the day, it's really hard for me to break away from the work I have to do. I'm doing 16-hour days of working, whether that be editing, scripting, making stuff, chatting with brands, doing branded content, whatever. If I step away from that, I'm not working, and my work has to get done. So it's like I don't really know what I'm supposed to do going forward, but I needed to do this to get all this out and to share that I have been in a very, very, very broken place over the last almost 2 years, not knowing what to do with all of this pain and hurt that has been bubbling up and has been waiting to seep out because of friendships that fell apart. And I'm not blaming any of those people. I'm blaming my response to them and not knowing how to handle that. I don't even know if I'm blaming that. I am doing a correlation causation to my energy and to my appearance and things that have been going on for the last 2 years, because I can tell that something's going on. And if I were to click into my channel, I don't know if I would have watched long term. I think I have really great moments, wonderful moments even, where I'm funny and I'm entertaining and I'm engaging. And then I have moments where I'm not. And I don't know if I would watch in those moments where I wasn't. So I'm figuring things out right now. And I think it starts by saying, this is what the problem was. Here's where the cracks are. And here's where the toxin is coming out. I need to work on getting all of that out and repair the base here. And then I can work really hard on fixing it and being a better version of myself. So if you are able to make it this far, if you got to this point in the video, and if you know my content, you've been following me for a long time on whatever platform, and you're like starting to maybe get some things that I've been teasing at or hinting at, because I've definitely been hinting and teasing about things going on. I hope this helps clarify things. If you've made it this far and you're someone who also streams or also makes content and you've ever felt this way, I hope you know that This is an industry that requires a super tough skin, and that is what I've been just doing, is having a tough skin. But you also have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with where things are and where things are at, and deal with that pain before it becomes what this is, because this is a mountain that I feel like I can't even scale. And losing my cat has been this scenario where I just feel like everything is shattered. Like, I feel like I am broken down to my basest components right now. And I'm trying to rebuild everything and get back to being a solid human being again. And I'm seeing all of this hurt and pain that has come with my career and trying to figure out what to do with all of that and how to repair that. So I hope that at the end of the day, this has been cathartic, not only for me, but whoever is watching this. And I truly don't know how long I've been talking for, but if you made it this far, thank you for sticking through and for listening, as I just needed to get all of this out. I'm gonna work on myself, and I'm gonna keep working on this pain and this hurt and trying to figure out how to sort it all. But I know that I do not want to hold on to all of this pain anymore. That whatever these people's reasons were for breaking off from me is not on me. If someone has a problem with me and they do not share it, what am I to do with that? And, I think if everyone's a problem, maybe you're the problem. And I've considered that so many times. I'm like, have I done something wrong? In my real life friendship that blew up and broke, I was definitely a contributing factor to that. I had an issue that I did not share, but the other person did too. Neither one of us talked about it, and things just exploded and fell apart. With the friendship where I made a hard boundary, I was the person who set up something there, and they were inflexible about my boundary. For the others, I didn't do anything. For these other online relationships that have crumbled, I did nothing. I did nothing. And so if those fell apart, I don't think that's on me. I don't think it is. I just don't. So I'm going to keep working on me. I'm going to keep working on what I need to and trying to figure things out. But I just needed to get all of this information out so that the healing can start, and hopefully some sense can be made of what the heck is going on with me and behind this brain. And I try so hard to keep the creator and the creative as separate things and not allow those to intersect. I try really hard to still be genuine and authentic with those, but not to let too much in, because I'm just trying to be professional. I'm just trying to do my job. I'm trying to work. I picture streaming and creation as if it were a brick and mortar shop. That if you come in, you're going to buy a product. Or you're going to look, the product's not for you, and you leave. But I'm not going to sit there and just blab about all my personal garbage, because that's not what the customer is looking for. They're looking for a service, and I'm there to provide that service. And I think what I'm realizing is that I need to have a little bit of that authenticity. That professionalism is subjective. And at the end of the day, I'm content creating. I'm not, finding a way to get to the moon. It's important, and I'm helping people in the way that they need to be helped. But I can still be professional and be honest and be genuine and be real and authentic. And I need to be better about calling out these behaviors that are upsetting to me, that frustrate me, because it's not helping me to keep it in. It's not helping me at all to just let this bottle up and to ruin my experiences. Because TwitchCon 2024 was ruined for me because I allowed all these people to hurt me so bad that I didn't know what to do with that pain. And I let it ruin my day. I let it ruin my weekend. And I have let all of this pain ruin 100 streams because I cannot get out of my head, these people don't care about you. And I need to get I need to get out of there. I need to get that out. I'm going to wrap it up here and say I've said what I needed to say, and I appreciate if you made it this far. I appreciate if you've listened to me talk this whole time. Thank you for that, and I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep trying to be a better version of me and to get this pain out, because it needs to get out. But yeah, I'll see y'all on the flip.